Hello. Welcome back to Amberly's Choice. Tonight I'm going to show you a few of the collector's items I have from Ready Player One, one of my all-time favorite films. That is just something that I have to share with you because it's a piece of who I am. So I have several of the Funko Pop figurines and I wanted to share those with you this evening. So I'm gonna get started. Let me grab a few of them from off of my bookshelf, okay? So, see, I'm already knocking stuff over, but I had to show you my collection. I'm collecting these. I haven't collected them all. I love the film Ready Player One. It is one of my hands down absolute favorite movies because it's so futuristic, right? It talks about tech. It talks about what the future is going to look like, going to be like. And also, it really just kind of has some very interesting dynamics between the characters. And so I really enjoy that film. And so I'm collecting all of the Funko Pop figurines from that show. So these are collectibles. They're staying in the box. They're staying on the shelf. But I had to pop in and show you them. So my favorite character from the movie is Artemis. And so I think that, let me show you this one in here. There we go. Artemis is a very interesting character. So headstrong, female character, presumably female, who has a lot of masculine energy, but she is one who doesn't have a whole lot of family. So she's trying to find family in the other characters, and that's part of the storyline. And so I really love this character, really enjoy this product. I haven't taken any of these out of the box because, again, they're worth so much more when they're inside of it. My boyfriend collects a bunch of the Funko Pops, and he actually had them before me, but I was thinking about them before we even hooked up. So, you know, kindling hearts, right? Like we just have twin spirits, if you will. So this is one of those things that I really wanted to get into, was collecting the whole, like all of them from the whole movie. But I'm going to show you what I do have on deck today. So this is Artemis. All right, let me get my bookshelf back together after I've knocked everything down. Hopefully the other books are a little bit more stronger. So this is another one that is another one of the main characters. Let me see here. And this is Percival. Percival is the main character in the film. And everything that's happening in the film is happening pretty much to him and his family. I really enjoy this character because he's the one who is in search for something and has to find the clues and figure out the puzzles. They're all on the search for something, and they're all helping each other get there and running away from the bad guys. But he's the lead, and he's comes across as like this shy and kind of like an introvert, the one who doesn't really have a lot of strength, but he's very smart. And he's smart because he knows video games and he knows how to beat the big games, right? And so, because he's played video games his whole life, he's really obsessed with the guide in the story. And he's a really cool guy, right? So Percival is one of those characters that will grow with you, and you'll love him, and you love to see him expand and grow on his journey. And I had to have a piece of this film and Percival in my house because he's a reminder of what the future holds with tech. And I am really into STEM. I work at a STEM academy. I am not necessarily a STEM person myself, outside of the fact that I'm a content creator and I do a lot with video production, but he inspires me, right? Like, he's really into tech. And so I just found him to be a very interesting character. Let's see, I got a couple more to show you. I'll grab them and bring them down for you. All right, so there's some characters that are in this show that are friends to Percival and Artemis. And I'm not even sure how to pronounce this. I don't know how to pronounce this character, but hopefully you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. But this character was played by Lena Waithe, who is a brilliant film writer, producer, and actress. And the character couldn't have been more perfect. So this is a person who is literally driving a truck and behind the wheel of both the game and the truck is in hiding of their personality and their identity, which speaks a lot to people who are trying to figure out who they are, their identities in the real world. And so this character talks a lot about just self-growth and identity development, especially when you think about how the character is portrayed. So when they show Lena in this form of the friend in person in real life, they look totally different than how they describe themselves. So Percival has been friends with this character for a long time on the show. They're thinking they're gonna be a male, and then they get there and it is a girl person, right? And so it's very interesting the dynamic that they had with one another. Once they saw each other, it was like, okay, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm really interested in still being friends with you and building this relationship because I feel like I already know you and you're my best friend, even though I met you on the internet. I mean, there's several people that I've met on the internet that I'm like, oh, I feel like we're best friends. So I can relate. So this is one of those characters that reminds you that you can relate to people on the internet all the time. That's what live stream is all about. You get to know me, I get to know you, and we form a relationship. And, you know, I totally missed that opportunity to show you what that was in the carousel, but that's okay. So who else do we have here that I want to show you? So before we get to the bad guy, I'm going to give you an in-between guy, okay? So the in-between guy is this Sixer. So the Sixers are also very techie. They are people who have probably played every single video game you can think of, know a lot of history, and the whole idea in this show is really like nostalgic TV from the 80s and 90s. And so this character has to specialize in understanding and knowing nostalgic trivia. And so that's one of the things that they talk about in the show, is how these Sixers, this character with the 1 and a 0 and a 1 in their face is really called a Sixer. And they have to learn all this trivia because it comes up in the game. And so they are a reminder, and I keep this one as a reminder to be nostalgic, to think about the things that come from the past, that, you know, really kind of give us life today, and while we're doing the things that we do, remember why you're here, right? And at the end of the film, they pretty much understood why Percival was doing what he was doing, and understanding that they were on the wrong side, right? So I love these characters. I just really love these figurines. Again, I'm keeping them inside to protect them, but I really enjoy having them on display so people get to know that although I can be very girly, in a lot of my videos you see me in a lot of pink and orange and my teal, but I think that the black and white of the figurines that pops from my bookshelf up there, I've taken them down, but when they're up there, people get to see another side of me. They get to see that I am into tech, that I am into all things creative, and not just the girly things. So, you know, this is another side of me. I'm glad you get to see it. I get to share with you. So the last and final one that I'll share tonight is the main character that is on the opposite side of good, the bad guy. And so, well, he's not the main one. He's actually like a friend, a buddy of the main one. He's being manipulated by the main guy. And so this is IROC. You know, IROC was one of those who had a lot of strength, a lot of power, and was being used and abused by the bad guy, essentially. So there's some good in him, I'm sure. We just weren't able to really pinpoint it. Weren't able to find it because he was too busy doing the work of the devil. And so we're just excited to be able to share the whole idea and concept of how Ready Player One is like a part of my life, right? I tell this story. I work in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and there's a line in the film that talks about building new worlds, right? And creating new worlds. And I think that this film really inspired me to want to do more stuff as a content creator and be a part of like the tech scene, and really embrace that part of me that loves tech, right? So these are my babies. They're my babies. I love them, even the bad guys, like, they make me happy, just having them on display and having them here for all the world to see when I'm doing my live streams. So I'm not gonna be out here long. I just wanted to show these to you. You know, if you have a question, you can pop it in the chat and I'll answer it. But these have been a great buy off of Amazon for a very inexpensive price. And they all have come to me in great condition. And, you know, the reviews that you'll see a lot of them are very positive. And most of these boxes are coming in and they're wrapped inside of another box. So they're intact and they are in great condition. So go ahead and get yours. You want them. Thanks.